Why does it look so dark in here? I don't know. Hi, hello. It's probably because it's kind of overcast outside. It's gonna be one of those try to get ready with me's. That's probably gonna be an hour long that you put on in the background, you know? But we can learn about some new makeup together, and it's still hopefully gonna be a pretty cute look. And I went on my Instagram early in the day this time. Gave y'all plenty of time to give me all sorts of deranged things to talk about. These are like the least optimized videos on my channel for any kind of indexing because like I don't do a good job talking about the products I'm gonna use or anything like that, but we're gonna be using a few new things. I got the Laura Mercier foundation that I haven't gotten to demo for y'all on camera yet. I have a new concealer. It's kind of a fail, but I still want to talk about it. Persona sent me a bunch of stuff, but it's like, again, you know what I mean? Like I've had it before, but maybe not in the same colors. And then we also have like things that I have still yet to use from Surat. And I just kind of want to do something cute today and hang out with y'all. So let's do it. Okay, I want to start with this one. It says how to become confident or practicing confidence. So I'm gonna grab my foundation here. I'm gonna actually prime. I'm gonna use the Victoria Beckham primer. That's the golden one. I just want the regular one. It's an okay shade match, but like I do not want to add golden primer to it. You know, it's already a little bit dark. So just gonna do a little pump ski of this. So confidence comes from a lack of fear of looking stupid. Honestly, like you have to, and I guess that's kind of self-perpetuating, right? It's because if you're confident, then you already are like okay looking stupid. But like for example, I was out to lunch with my friends in New York City and it was so hot. I hate getting places in New York City. No matter how nice the weather is, I'm always just a sweaty mess when I get there. It's awful. And so I like unzipped my boots underneath the table to just like let my calves breathe for a second. And then I forgot I did that and I went to pee and I had zipped one of them back up but not the other one. And they were like, Khaki, your boots. And I was like, it's a vibe. You know what I mean? And it's not so much like I'm like playing off like covering up like being embarrassed or something. It's just like you just have to like be okay looking stupid and know that like it's not a referendum like that you are stupid kind of thing. And like to me that's always been the ultimate kind of measure of confidence. Like no one can kind of knock you off because you're just like, I know who I am. Like knowing who I am has come from a lot of work. Like they say like do the work. That's what they mean. They're talking about like going and like self-actualizing through reading books and maybe doing therapy, you know, exposing yourself to new things, maybe traveling or whatever. See, it's a little bit yellow. It's like it's not great, but it's a really, really pretty finish. It's just like, I wish there was a better color in it. I should have gotten like a cool tone, but I'm not cool toned. So like, there's no reason that I should have kind of thing. Either way. So I developed confidence because I definitely was not confident. You know what I mean? I wasn't like born with confidence, and it's been my mission in life, or since my kid was born, to like instill true honest to God confidence in him, because I think that it's like the key to success in, you know, living on earth. It is the difference between being that like arrogant dude who's so insecure and afraid of people finding out his insecurities that instead he just throws his weight around in the world and perpetuates the patriarchy. It's the difference between that and being someone who can be humble and feel their feelings in real time and love a partner like truly and presently and break the cycle. You know what I mean? Because I think that there are too many kind of like social constructs that are like perpetuating a lack of feeling your feelings and almost a, you know, shame around having feelings to begin with. I love that like mental health has become something that's just so much more, you know, normalized to talk about, and they really do intertwine, right? It's because like you have to know that like you're a holistic human being. You are not just other people's perception of you. And so it's like, you have to know who the person you're seeing in the mirror is and like accept everything that they are. I am kind of a nightmare sometimes. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm just a lot. I'm like really intense and I have a lot of ideas and I get excited about things and whatever. I'm just a big feelings person, you know? And like I was called weird. I was, you know, kind of treated like I was too much like my entire life. I don't know why the camera is picking up so much light. It's so dark in here. Maybe that's better. Is that better? I just want y'all to be able to see the texture on the makeup and how the shade match is not great, but like I literally have the lights turned all the way down. It's so weird. So anyway, I would say like practicing confidence has to do with like when you experience a moment that makes you feel insecure, by the way, I'm scattering all over the place, but go read The Untethered Soul. The Untethered Soul is going to like walk you through in absolutely the plainest of terms why your insecurities trigger your ego response and why you want to overcompensate for them. Because hi, I was the queen of it, okay? Like, you want to talk about every coping mechanism possible, I had them, you know? I was a nightmare in my 20s. Doing that work because you are so sick, honestly, I was so sick of being a victim of my insecurities and being afraid that someone was going to like notice these things that were wrong with me. I just like got frustrated. I was like, you know what? I need to like approach these things head on, like figure out whether these are things that are part of me inextricably, that are like things that I love about myself, or whether they're things that I need to work on, you know, because there's always those blind spots that you need to work on. And just approaching that from a completely unjudgmental standpoint, journal a lot. Think your thoughts onto the paper. It makes such a difference, even if you burn it right afterwards kind of thing. Like, it doesn't have to be something that needs to get like, you know, published to the masses. It's just about like talking to yourself and talking through your feelings in real time, because when you can feel your feelings in real time, and I'm gonna go with a concealer here. When you can feel your feelings in real time, you can say to yourself, why do I feel this way right now? Why is this personal thing hitting me this like sideways way? Like, why did what that person just noticed about me, why does it make me feel insecure? Is it because I don't like that part of myself, or I've been taught to be ashamed of that part of myself, and so I feel like I need to like deflect, or like maybe I have a vulnerability hangover? Read Brene Brown, also, Daring Greatly. And, you know, only if you're ready, because it's the best book in the world. But then it's like, or is it hitting me sideways because I am not showing up authentically in the world, and I'm like afraid to show up authentically in the world because I'm afraid I'm unlovable. So practicing confidence, by the way, this is the Luminous Silk Concealer from Armani. I like the Luminous Silk foundation. This is the concealer. This is one of the things that Tom recommended that I try because they love it so much. And I have to say, my under eyes are not a huge fan, but we're gonna go with it today. Maybe it'll go differently. Yeah, you know, not only does like recognizing those things about yourself, you know, make you more comfortable in your own skin, but it starts to make you make better choices, allow you to make better choices about the people you surround yourself with. Because a lot of times, the problem with people judging you for who you really authentically are isn't about you. It's about you not being around the people who accept your currency, okay? It's like when you're dating somebody and they just like kind of make you feel like you're not good enough, or that you need to go like, you know, be in a certain box in order for like to get their approval or whatever. Or, like, you have to change the way that you dress, or the way that you talk, or the things that you talk about, or, you know, the way that you act or whatever. It's because like they're not carrying your currency. They don't get all that you have to offer specifically, and that's their effing problem, you know? And I understand that like we want companionship, we want connection, and so sometimes it feels easier to bend to fit in order to just find, you know, a connection with somebody. And like sometimes it is about finding those growth edges with each other and like connecting and just being like, okay, we're not exactly the same, or maybe you don't understand me, you know, 100%, or I don't understand you 100%, but like I see potential in it, and like I'm willing to pursue that or whatever, like, you know, tenuously. But when you start feeling insecure around other people because of just the way that you are, like I said, like I, you know, laugh really loud, or like I like to tell stories, or what, you know what I mean? If people make you feel weird about that, that's their problem. And like the best thing you can do for your confidence, the mantra, okay? And this is gonna probably not be like very elegantly put, but happy people don't judge other people. Happy people don't make other people feel worse to make themselves feel better. So if someone in your life is making you feel insecure about the way that you are or the way that you act, it's because they're unhappy. Because think about the last time you were like wildly happy with your life, you know? Just like, I'm very content. Things are going well for me. I feel like I'm living authentically. I'm happy in my skin kind of thing. You're not going around to beauty guru chatter trying to find somebody to criticize, okay? It's just not something that you're doing. So that's been my logic, and that was like something that I really had to crack open in my life, because I was definitely surrounded by that in terms of like even like my family, you know? And not the ones I talk to anymore. But, you know, just understanding that like everyone is unique. You're not supposed to assimilate. Your uniqueness is your power. It's your power. It is your best, greatest, most important power in the world, is that you are different. And so like when your individuality feels like it's being kind of like shoved into a corner and like, you know, stifled or, you know, suffocated, you need to examine the environment that you're in and the people that you're surrounded by, because, and even if you can't do anything about it right away, like if you're young and you like can't get out of your home or whatever, y'all, I'm not saying it's a healthy thing to do, but it was a survival thing to do. I dissociated for like the last 4 years of living at home. Okay. And I don't have like, I mean, me and my mom are really close and things like that, but just the entirety of the situation and where I was at in my life, I just knew it was like a self-preservation thing. I was like, this is gonna be over. I just need to get through it. That sometimes has to be the mindset, to like get through a situation where like someone is making you feel like you can't be your authentic self. And it keeps you from getting too damaged by being vulnerable to people who don't deserve your energy. You know? So I would say that that's like baseline. That's baseline. That's worst case scenario. Conserve your energy and just survive, like, you know, emotionally. But in the best of terms, in the best of times, like if you have the ability to go and like live authentically as yourself, and you have these like the spark of one urge that you see through is going to empower you to take on a bigger urge next time. You know, and you can like learn how to become the person that is like you feel like you're beaming out into the world. Because that's how I feel a lot of times, especially when I like, you know, I'm interacting with y'all on like my Instagram stories or whatever. I'm just like, I feel like my full self right now. Like I feel like I'm just like having this really phenomenal, like stimulating creative conversation with all these people. And like, I feel like that's kind of, at least in the season of my life, what I'm meant to be doing. And that has only come from so much doing it wrong, and then being honest with myself about how that felt, and saying, I gotta do something else. I gotta do something else. And honestly, ask the universe. If something, I'm not religious, I'm not whatever, but like I am definitely, I think that there's an order to things, okay? I just can't ignore like the synchronicities in my life. And I swear to God, y'all, the best things that have happened to me in my life were because I said, universe, I don't have an answer here, but I need your help. Here's where I want to get to, okay? I don't know what the in-between looks like, because change needs to be new. So it's not going to be made out of the ingredients of your life so far. It's not going to be familiar. Otherwise, you would already have it. It needs to be made out of new ingredients, and in that sense, since you can't anticipate that and you can't control that, you have to trust the unknown. And so you say, I'm putting my faith in the unknown, I am asking for what I need, I'm going to let you fill in the gaps, Jesus, take the wheel. You know what I mean? And like, that's how the best things have happened to me in my life. And that comes from a place of true sincerity in your heart, of being able to be honest about what you want. Like honest, even if it means shattering your life. You know what I mean? Burning down what you're looking at. The tower card, okay? The raccoon falling out of the falling tree. Sometimes that's what the healthiest move looks like. I hope that helps. So what's funny is like once I get that on, the color is not that bad. I can't really like reconcile why it goes on so yellow and then it kind of like adjusts to neutral. Like it like opposite oxidizes. That's not a thing makeup usually does, but it also is like pretty light coverage, so it helps. But yeah, that was the Laura Mercier Real Flawless Weightless Perfecting Foundation. They just named it everything, but to be honest, it kind of is all those things. And then the Luminous Hope Concealer, it's like it's not creamy enough for underneath my eyes. It's a little too thin, almost like it's oil-based. It's not, but it's very, very thin. And I just, even though the color match is great, I mean, it's a really, really good color match. I think that it like, you know, helped save the overall match of my entire complexion. I still have like not figured out how to get it to like cover the way that I want to, hydrate the way that I want to, and give me like smoothness and tolerate powder. And like, these are things that I've never had to think about from the standpoint of another concealer, because they'll just do it, you know? So like the Kosas concealer just does that. The Monica Blender cover just does that. The Chanel does that. Like this is just, it's just giving me thin. I will take one for the team today and we will work specifically with that for now and see how it tolerates powder. But for the moment, we're going to do a demo here of like my, oh, actually no. We are going to go in with a bronze multi-stick in Dune from Persona. I don't think I have this one yet. Oh, another mantra for being confident. Think about someone asking you, how are you so confident? And you say to them, I have no reason not to be. I've never been given a reason not to be confident. That's not true, but it's a healthy mantra. All right, so here we have Dune. She's a pretty like straight down the middle, you know, light colored bronzer color. I'm gonna swatch that against the Makeup by Mario in light. They're extraordinarily similar. I would say that Dune might be a little bit greener. And then the Thrive, which is the one I've been using the most lately. That's Makeup by Mario Light. That is Thrive Rhea. So Makeup by Mario is gonna be a little bit still like rosier, and I mean, it's a little more orange by contrast, but only because these two look so green. And then Mo is like, it's like cafe au lait. It's so pretty. We're not using that today, Khaki. We're gonna go with Dune. I think that that's the right one. They also sent Teddy, but I think Teddy is more of a blush, right? Yeah, it's blush. Okay, we might go with Teddy as well. So I'm gonna go with my 105 here and do that. Let's take another question. Birthday stuff, what you did, any treats you got, etc. Well, first of all, the day was fantastic because I basically like, I edited a little bit, but like I couldn't keep my attention span on the rails. And so I just, you know, was kind of on social media, having a nice time talking to my friends. I talked to I talked to Carissa for a while. I talked to my friends Leslie and Cami for a while. And I have a lot going on in my life. And it's like definitely not stuff I can share right now. And just being able to like have these amazing friends who I've known for so long who will just like hold space for me in the best way possible. Dune is beautiful. That's really, really pretty. Wow, okay. Even though the finish of that foundation is not ideal at the moment, it's like not my favorite, I think it's going to resolve itself. That's been my experience with it. And that is just the prettiest, like actual sun-kissed kind of, I don't know, it's really, really pretty. I like what that's doing. It's like very natural looking. And then I stepped outside and I realized it was hot, and that made me really happy. And then I just like blacked out and put on a swimsuit. I was like the pool's not open, nothing, but like I couldn't help it. I just was like, I need to go be in a swimsuit and I need to go sit outside, and I got a little bit of a sunburn on my shoulder. And then I decided to go live on Instagram, and it was like the most fun thing ever. We had so much fun on that stupid live. I was being such an idiot. Mike gave me some Tecovas cowboy boots that I've been wanting for a while. And that is just, I put too much on and I'm way into it. I like it very much. We went out to dinner, obviously took Sai Guy, and he is just like so adventurous with his eating. It was so much fun. Like, you know, we're ordering like lobster and filet mignon and like mussels, and like they have this bread bowl. And so like you're not a bread bowl, but a bowl of bread, like a bread basket, Khaki. And he's dipping it in every single sauce possible. And like the lobster, like the butter sauce that was on the lobster, like I thought he was gonna lick the plate. I just love him so much. He's so cool. That was that. And then yesterday, that was 2 days ago. So yesterday, I did try and kind of like chill a little bit more because like, you know, I've had people accuse me of, not accuse me, but try and diagnose me with like mild bipolar in my comments before, because like, I think when I'm in a really, really good mood, people do kind of see it as me being manic. And I'm like, no, I'm just kind of, I have the zoomies. Like you know what I mean? I just get a case of the zoomies when I'm like really, really stoked, and it was my birthday, you know, I was just having a really good time. But the next day I was like, all right, need to counterweight it a little bit, you know, I need to like breathe. And so I really put myself into my work. I put out a video that I really liked. And then, you know, just kind of like I did my yoga and stuff, and just like did a lot more like self-care than just like, screaming into the universe. And just talked to a lot of my friends and stuff. And then last night was really fun because like Kiki and I had been trying to align on a bunch of, I'm gonna go ahead and put Teddy on as well. But we've been trying to align our schedules to do a FaceTime to catch up. And out of nowhere, she told me that her kid had like made a last second plan to like go hang out at a friend's house. And I was like, I just put Simon down. And so we were like able to actually like get on FaceTime. Where the heck is my brush? I'm gonna use the 101 for this. But this is just, I mean, ugh, look at this color. It's like toasted apricot goodness. Hopefully it's not too orange, but I think it's like a really nice muted peach. Ooh, that might be a little too orange. It might be a little too orange, but we'll see. I mean, it's all cream at this point, so it's like not unfixable, but it does make my lips kind of glow. I don't know, they're just kind of glowing purple by comparison. So yeah, Kiki and I solved all the world's problems and spilled a lot of tea and had a really nice time. And I like woke up this morning with this just like really nice balanced mindset. And my kid, I feel like he is one of the, and I mean kids in general probably, but I only have one. So I think kids absorb your energy so much. And so it's like when I wake him up and I can kind of get in the same vibe as him, like I can get on his wavelength of wherever he's at. Like if he's really tired and he's really like not wanting to like wake up in a hurry, if I can get on that level, like I can help kind of bring his aura up with mine. And I just feel like that as a positive exercise in the morning, like it just makes such a huge difference because we kind of follow each other's lead. Because like this morning he got up really early. And so we were eating some breakfast, which we never do. He usually eats breakfast at daycare because he usually wakes up really late. And we actually sat and watched Lightyear, which is not a movie that like a 2-year-old should be watching, but he doesn't really understand what's happening and he's obsessed with it. And he like quotes it. He's like, we're almost there. Like he just like says everything along with them, like no matter what part of the movie is. And I'm like, really? The one Toy Story derivative like spin-off movie that's rated PG for peril? Like that's the one you want to watch? The one with like time travel and people dying? Like, okay, so yeah, eventually he'll understand what's happening, but for now he just thinks it's neat. So this is really nice. This is nice. It's kind of funny to be boxed in by these products because it's like I don't have every single step I would typically do. And so I'm just kind of like going with the flow a little bit. Here's something that I wanted to try today. I want to do these two things. I have no idea how it's going to go, but like something about the Hindash Color Fluid in Thorn as like an eyeshadow. And then Lisa Eldridge Titania, which is like, it's a green gold, but she does have a full-on green that is not what we're using. So I wanted to go ahead, yeah. This one's a lot more green and it's called Anais. It's like really beautiful, but I wanted to go more for the golden like brown and just see if we're going to achieve something that like breaks the space-time continuum. Like that's what we're going for today. So I'm gonna do that. So anyway, yeah, that was kind of like how my birthday's been. And it's been like equal parts productive and healthy and crying and laughing. And I'm feeling like I'm kind of taking a bite out of life right now. That's how I feel. If you could only keep one pair of shoes from your collection, which would it be? That's a mean question. That's rude. That's a rude question. What do you mean? What do you mean? Because it's like, okay, we're gonna have to take something like, you know, athletic stuff off the table because like I am such a sneakers girl. I'm wearing my Nike Blazers right now. I love a overpriced pair of sneakers. So we'll just take that off the table because that's like, we'll call that athletic. Even though the only workout that I do is yoga and you don't wear shoes for that. The shoes that I actually wear the most, that are good for almost every season, obviously not when it's, you know, snowing outside, but like I can justify it almost all the time. The Jenny Cane mules. The Jenny Cane mules, the pony hair ones with like the speckling on the top of them, they go with everything and they're so comfortable outside the, like straight out of the box. They're so comfortable. So that's what I would recommend. They're wildly expensive, but I think cost per wear, we're in the fractions of a cent at this point. Like I wear them so much more than I wear my Gucci's, my Gucci mules that I thought that I was gonna just like wear the crap out of. Like I love those things, but they're just not as comfortable as the Jenny Cane ones. So yeah, we're going in right now with Thorn from Hindash. These are just the things, it's kind of like those videos Hannah does sometimes where she kind of tries to talk about the stuff that has rolled into the back of her drawer, right? And she's like, okay, well, you know, how could I wear this makeup in a way that I haven't thought of yet and like get more use out of it? Well, I have a much less maybe intentional way of approaching that. And it is, when things fall on the floor and they're sitting next to each other and I'm like, ooh, those colors stick out to me as something that would be great. So that's what happened. So I'm just blendy here. I've definitely become more of a liquid and like cream eyeshadow person as much better formulas have arrived in my life. Because there are, like I said, there are good ones. I said this in a previous video. There are good ones, but a lot of times if they perform well in terms of like actually blending, they completely go away on your eyes. And like they'll just, you know, blend to nothing. And then the other ones, you know, that kind of are like super long wearing or whatever, they're impossible to manipulate. And don't get me started on that like whipped consistency of, I don't know, all the really pricey ones. I can't get the Eyes to Mesmerize to work on me. So something that I really enjoy about Titania here, and if we can get it to actually like, you know, show up true, I think I might go in with canvas as well so that we get something really nice and even, and this can just be like the icing on the cake. This, look at like my eye, right? It's kind of golden in the middle, but where the brown and the golden come together, it's sort of green. And I think that this is gonna help. I think it's gonna make it pop. And if not, we'll just keep layering things on top of it until my eyes pop out of my head. That's the plan for today. I wanna do a video where we do like the like sunshine sunflower yellow from Victoria Beckham. But I was just feeling very like neutral today, so that's what we're going for. I wanted to be sexy. I'm gonna use a little bit more of Thorn out here on the outer corner and like build that depth. I also just like really wanna demonstrate how versatile just one shade of this is. Gives you a lot of time. You can really like feel it happening on your eye. You know, it's not so slippy that like you can't feel where it's going. And it also wears like forever, which is really nice because I feel like, I don't know, all of the stuff that I've been putting on my eyes lately in order to try and like soften them because my under eyes are just a crepey nightmare, they make the eyeshadow not last at all. So what the heck is the Barbie movie? Like, what is the plot? I'm confused and so intrigued. The internet has been popping off on the new Greta Gerwig Barbie movie trailer that just came out. And I will say, like, I don't obviously like know any more than anybody else. And I haven't done a lot of research, but I have been seeing this, you know, kind of building momentum for a while online. And so I think that like Greta Gerwig has a unique perspective in terms of like feminism. And so there's always going to be that like tongue-in-cheek, almost like drag level lampooning of like feminine stereotypes, but also in a like funny and charming way. And that's what I'm hoping from this and expecting from this. And that, like, that's kind of the only way that you can do something like this. Well, I guess you could do it like a Marvel movie, you know what I mean? But like in 2023, to make something that, you know, Barbie so inherently has been like the commoditization of the female like physical ideal that's been perpetuated since, you know, the 50s, like our physical self. And like, you know, it's kind of the thorn in a lot of people's side, the idea of like what a woman should look like as perpetuated by a Barbie doll kind of thing. And so I am excited to see like what Greta Gerwig does with that, because like it has to be a commentary, you know, and it has to be funny, and I bet it's going to be hilarious. Plus, I just love Margot Robbie. I love her so much. I think that she's brilliant. And so yeah, I'm like really excited to see what Margot Robbie does with that role. And there's a lot of other really good people in there. There's like Issa Rae, freaking Michael Cera. What? Like, I don't know. I'm psyched. I'm really, really psyched to see how it goes. So what we have here is, oddly enough, Hindash's color fluid in Thorn, which Hindash is a big fan of warm. He likes warm things, and like, you know, all this stuff kind of interacts really beautifully in like a healthy way most of the time, but it's actually looking almost cool toned by comparison to Teddy on my cheeks, because Teddy's so stinking orange. So we're gonna have to remedy that, and then we're gonna have to bring the eyes up a little bit in terms of warmth. So we're gonna go with the Lisa Eldridge, we are, but I'm probably going to put something even kind of warmer in there, and if all else fails, we will put bronzer in my eyeballs, just in them. My kid is actually, this is so stupid, he is obsessed with the Mr. Potato Head glasses. Like if we go, like we went somewhere over the weekend, and he goes, my glasses, and like he demands that he has the Mr. Potato Head glasses, and he wears them. He wears them all day. He's such a goober. And so like these people like show up at the playground and they're like, ah. And I'm like, yeah, they're Mr. Potato Head glasses. They're like, okay. And he thinks that you're supposed, like when he puts my glasses on my face, he tries to take like the ends that go over your ears and shove them into my eyeballs. Like he thinks that that's how glasses work. I love it. Okay, so this is decidedly green, even though it's not technically the green one. It's still green on me. Oh, it's so pretty. Lisa, it's so pretty. Also on the Barbie thing, like it's very seldom that I get to actually comment on like a popular movie that is like something that the critics are going to actually care about. You know, it'll be like, up for awards, although it's a comedy, so I don't know. But like, I feel like because it's Greta Gerwig, like people are gonna care. And I don't get to talk about that stuff that often because usually when movies are sort of up for critical acclaim and things like that, it's usually a plot line I can't stomach. Something that's gonna like, you know, live in my brain for the rest of my life. Now, there are exceptions to that. Like, you know, at one point Mike made me watch There Will Be Blood, and I couldn't stop laughing through the whole thing. And I was like, I feel like he's kidding. Even to this day, we'll just be walking around the house and you'll just go, I drink your milkshake. A little dog, woof, 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 woof. I don't know why I thought that movie was so funny, but that was like what helped me dissociate from it because it's a pretty disturbing movie. Let's use that. This is a Cressida from Lisa Eldridge. Pretty. Take my little stumpy brush here. And we haven't powdered yet either, so I do feel like we lose a lot of the actual luster with the brush, but maybe we should pull out, oh, we should pull out Oyster. That's what we should do. I bet people were screaming that at the screen from Victoria Beckham because it's green. It has a little bit of green in it and it's just going to accomplish what I was trying to do there. Yep, 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 yep. Oyster just graduated from a product I liked in its review to something that lives in my mind palace that I will now think of as an art supply in my arsenal. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. Ooh, yes. Well, you know, while we're at it, let's go ahead and like deepen the outer corner with something. Kind of want a little more depth than that and maybe a little bit different like opacity. Is it helpful? Is that helpful for y'all? Even though I'm not using like new things or new to you things, for me to like talk through my thought process about the decisions that I'm making and like why? I'm gonna use, I guess this deep one right here from Surratt. This is my go-to quad right now. And I think that this little kind of like deep charcoal color is gonna go really well with this because it's already kind of getting towards that, right? See, it's like, it looks very at home in that spot because of the color. Yeah, kind of like that. I need powder though. I'm like, my face just looks kind of almost sweaty right now and it's not. But yeah, we need some textural change and we need to like define the details because right now it's just kind of blobby. It's like if you worked in layers in like graphic design and all of your line work was on one layer and you like removed it and everything's just like, you know, colored in the lines but there are no lines. That's how this feels right now. I'm still like torn on the blush because I just think that Teddy was like the wrong call and it's still kind of like tacky. I don't really want to like throw a bunch of powder on top of it. Let's see. Because the only other like wearable color that they sent for me is Bubble because one of them is like bright red and one of them is like bright jam colored. Jam might work. Maybe jam will work. I put on jam before on its own and it was just too much, but I think that like I've almost created a simulation of an olive complexion with like this, yeah. So I think that this might actually work really well. It's just gonna look kind of fall, but whatever. Ooh, there we go. Ooh, yep, dicey. Whoop, dicey. Okay. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. Because even in the world of purples, it's a little bit pink. It's okay. It doesn't look great. Maybe we'll use a little bit of Bubble. Maybe Bubble will help here. Ugh, they're so, I don't know, they're so like on the nose with the colors. And that's why, even though I've had these for a while, I hardly ever use them. It's just, they're very on the nose. I don't know if I like that. Let's powder a little bit and try and just get the textures adjusted. Oh, Lisa wants to talk about the time-space continuum, time travel, and its impact on makeup and makeup trends. Can I just say, after watching Lightyear roughly 25 times in the last like 3 weeks, I still don't understand time travel. Do y'all watch Dark? Did y'all ever watch that series Dark? Freaking amazing. Like one of the best things I've ever seen. I still don't totally understand time travel. So, like even in Harry Potter, when it's like, when does the thing happen that causes the thing to happen right now where we are. And they always use it. They always use that same plot device. And I'm like, but when did that thing that's happening right now that we're saying, when did it actually happen? And everybody's like, time's a flat circle. And I'm like, I don't get it. What aspect of who you are now do you hope will not change in the next 20 years? I've talked about this sort of from a different angle before, but I'm gonna use my Kosas powder because obviously I've been using a lot of unfamiliar things. I need to get back to the familiar, back to safety. I really want to stay open-minded, and become, oh my God. I just pulled like a full like fuzzy of some persuasion, like off of like a blanket or something. I swear it was like in the bridge of my nose. Felt like it was attached to my eyeballs. I just became acquainted with my anatomy with no warning at all. Yeah, I think that like one of the most freeing things that's happened to me, I'm not like trying to pay myself a compliment here, but one of the best things that's happened to me from, just a mental health standpoint has been trying harder to see outside myself. And I hope that like more opportunities in my life find me that help me do that, because it helps you just be a more adjusted human being and like practice love first. But also I want to kind of like continue to be, I don't know, what would you call it? It's like a katamari, right? Or like, I don't know if hermit crabs that do this? They collect things on themselves, I kind of think I'm always going to be that person who figuratively, I'm not gonna keep getting piercings or keep getting tattoos or anything, probably. But I think I just want to be that person who like collects being interesting. Like, I think that like being afraid of trying something because you're afraid you won't like it is one of the like most damaging traits you can have, I just want to like collect new experiences and collect ways of being interesting. I need contour. That's something that needs to happen. This is gonna be one of those videos where I'm like rewatching it for editing and I'm gonna go, when did I say that? Because like I don't know half the crap I'm talking about right now. I'm just coming off the dome. All right, yeah, smoky eye baton, that's what's happening. We're just gonna do it. I'm gonna go through my eyeliner and my mascara real quick, and then we'll come back, put on a lip, and chat thoughts on these things. Then I wanted to use the Rare Beauty lips again. Now, of course, that my lips have actually like completely faded back down because it does stain like crazy. I think that like the lips are going to clue me in as to what the cheeks need. I really like the shade, I want to say Joy. It gives me something like really orange. And like, why not, man? Yeah. Now, I kind of like the About Face ones better because they don't stain, Not that they're the same formula, they're not, but this does have some nice plumping to it. Ooh, yeah, so that makes me want to just activate the rest of my complexion. Is that not gorgeous? But yeah, I really feel like the Persona blushes are kind of falling short. The bronzer worked pretty well, but like, I just couldn't get a pretty finish out of I need a little bit more. A pretty finish out of the kind of like purpley ones, and it's like more of a formula issue than it is a color issue, So these are so unique. I cannot really compare them to anything because they do have a tingle that's not minty, but it's not peppery. It's just a tingle. And it kind of plumps, but it also kind of stimulates in a way that I think also is like what kind of darkens your lips a little bit and what causes the staining effect. It's wildly lightweight, so beautiful. And like the colors, even though they do all kind of do the same thing in terms of like the plumping effect on your lips, the colors do even though they don't look exactly, you know, true, I think that they do look unique enough. I just think that that is so pretty. And you know what it makes me want to do? I have been resisting because I know me, you know, I know that I keep leaning on the same stinking products, but like, that's what it makes me want to do. And this is why when I said like, these are the things that I would typically like, that I would buy if I lost everything. That's why this is on the list, is because it lives in my mind palace. So this is the House Labs Pomelo Peach. It's just fantastic. It looks so healthy. It's like better than anything that my skin would do on its own, naturally. And I am on the peach makeup train lately. I like can't get off. And you know what? I still feel like we're not very bronze. I feel like the Persona sticks kind of let us down, and I feel like I've already done this. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like we've already been disappointed by the Persona sticks, and here we are back again trying again. So anyway, let's go with my Gucci because it always works. Oh, and I want to put some Pomelo Peach in my eyeshadow look too, to just kind of like bring everything to life here. Oh, it's giving watermelon. It's so appetizing. All right, all right, all right, all right. This is actually really coming together. It's like the opposite of my second Syrah video where I was like, we're gonna save it, we're gonna save it. And it never got saved. But this is coming together in like the same fashion. It's just kind of working with us. Ooh, maybe it's copper and it'll pick up that little bit there. It'll pick up the other color. Yeah, I like that. I like that, I like that. It's not too smoky. It's not technically one of the sequin ones, so it's not like putting tiny shards of something in my eyes, ostensibly. Let's give this a spritz with my Fix Plus. Is this my real Fix Plus? Yes. I have something rebottled in a Fix Plus bottle and I don't like it, so I have to be careful. She's cute! She's cute! Wow, that worked out better than I expected it to. That's a good look. I think it really just hinged on that wing. That wing happened and everything just started going my way. So let me talk about each of these products real quick and give you like my preliminary thoughts. I am due for a speed reviews video though. And my speed reviews, there's gonna be a lot of products and it's probably going to be speedy of each review, but it'll still be nice and long. I know everybody got like very annoyed with my last speed reviews video because they were like, it's like 20 minutes long, khaki. This was not, or like 15 minutes long, something like that. They were like, this is not my typical khaki content. So anyway, especially going into the Sephora sale, I wanna go ahead and give a little bit more detail. Laura Mercier. About this product, what it is: a weightless foundation that blurs the line between makeup and skin, medium buildable coverage, waterproof wear, 12 hours of fade proof wear, medium natural finish, liquid formulation, high resolution pigments, and 3D smooth priming powders, perfecting cake-free coverage and optimal color laydown with less product, much less product for sure. Blurring bamboo silk powders and hydrolipid matrix balance moisture and shine control to maintain skin's optimal state. I will say it actually achieves the natural finish that I think like a lot of these brands are claiming, which is that it's not dewy, it's not matte, it really looks like skin. It actually looks like skin. Whereas like this looks like skin on the best day ever. You know, this just looks like my skin when it goes on. And that might be why I'm a little underwhelmed by it, because I'm like, well, can we make it look better than that? A lot of shades. We got, I think we got 30 shades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times 4 is 32. Yeah, 30 shades. And they're a little weird. They're a little weird. I'm just gonna say they're a little bit weird because, you know, I don't think that this is like the perfect shade for me, but it somehow worked out. And I don't really understand why, you know, like the color, it turned out fine. I think it might just because you hardly have to put any on. It's like really, 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 really wildly thin. If you are someone who can find a good shade match in this and you are combo skin, normal, combo, or oily, and you just like something that like locks down but truly feels weightless, this feels like Chantecaille Future Skin cushion, like that, completely weightless on your face, but so much more coverage, so much more perfecting. And it's a lot like that Bite Beauty foundation in the sense, hear me out, they're not exactly the same, obviously, but it's a lot like it in the sense that like when you first put it on, you're like, what? Like this finish is not good and it's not seeming to communicate. And I think that that's that silk powder and microlipid complex that they're talking about. That's like two things. There's like one is actually trying to hydrate and one is trying to like control oil. And when they first go on, I feel like that on top of like my skincare or just my skin, they like kind of have to get acquainted with each other. Like they need a second to like chat things out. But once they do, I have no complaints at all. It's so pretty. I've gotten some of my favorite faces of makeup that I've worn lately out of this foundation. It's just weird at first. It's like touch and go at first. You're just like, this is not cute. And then it gets cute because it like almost has powder in it already. And you can imagine what that does to a formula, but I promise, at least in my experience, it stabilizes and it smooths and a finishing spray goes a long way. But it self-sets. It's really, really nice. And then the concealer, again, this was a Tom recommendation. I think this is like $38 and it does have a pretty big shade range, but I want to say it's a little hit and miss. I'm still not completely convinced on this because it is so low coverage. I have a pet peeve about when a corresponding concealer to a foundation that I like actually has lighter coverage than the foundation does. And I've come across that a few times, but they're very memorable. So is it my new Holy Grail concealer? I don't think so, but I might find, it's kind of like the Charlotte Tilbury one, this one, in the use case that like, I'm gonna find a place in my routine where it shines, but I need to get more experience with the formula, but it's not Kosa's. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not just like a completely idiot-proof concealer for me, the way that Kosa's is. So I like it, I love the shade match, but like if y'all have any recommendations on how this is like at its absolute best, please let me know because it's super, super thin. I want to believe. Because I don't want it to like get all cakey and everything, but like I can still see so much like gray underneath my eyes. So yeah, I definitely have, it has some drawbacks so far. Oh, the allergies are wild. Like I said, we've been through this, so I'm not gonna belabor it because, you know, I get these in PR and like, Persona is very sweet to send me PR and I appreciate that. I appreciate even getting the chance to have an opinion on them, you know? But like, I can't get into these. I just think that like, they don't have either like the balance of color payoff or the elegance of the formula. Like they feel like drugstore to me and not in like a good way, you know what I mean? Not in a hidden gem kind of way. Like the colors are so on the nose and the formula is just so like oddly opaque for what it is. I just feel like these are for someone, they're just not for me. And I can't get into them. And like even their eyeliners that I loved so much when they first came out, they all dried out. They all dried out within like a couple of months, and I mean dried out. Like they were like gummy. You could like bend them. It was not good. And they're pencils. They're like sharpenable. So yeah, I don't know. Persona is just like, I keep wanting to sink my teeth into this brand and I just can't find anything that pleases me. I had a hard time with their formulas. So maybe they're just not for me. The eyeshadow was nothing new, you know, as far as like what I used, but I love it. And I don't think I had gotten to use Titania. Maybe I had. Maybe I already have. Maybe I do that to myself all the time where I circle back on things and I'm like, what a great idea. And then I'm like, oh, you already did that, Khaki. That's why it seems like such a great idea, is because you already had that idea. I do that a lot in my life. So anyway, it's still a cute look. It's again, giving watermelon sugar. And on top of that, this lip, again, this is Joy, corresponding to the Joy blush from Rare Beauty, because this is the Soft Pinch lip oil based on these Soft Pinch liquid blushes. Yes, I did get that thought out in one take. Yeah, I think that these are fantastically unique. I really do. I know I said that it stains. It's not so much that it stains as it is that it has the initial stimulation on your lips that helps to kind of plump them. And I feel like it does go down a little bit. Like my lips don't look like the color underneath is as red as it was, and now I'm getting more trueness to that shade. So it just kind of takes a minute, but I was like stained like that for a while earlier because I put so many on and wiped them all off. That makes more sense. And what we ended up with is this very like tonal kind of look that I do think makes me look a little bit, it's so matchy-matchy, it does make me look a little bit kind of like old. And I don't mean old like aged, I mean like back in the day, you know what I mean? Like the cute little old ladies who match their little purse with their little shoes, with their little makeup, with their little, you know, hat for church. Like that's how I feel right now. It's like a little too matchy-matchy, but I like it. And I think it's pretty, and I think all it would take would be taking the lip off and putting on a clear gloss and I'd feel better, you know? So I think that we navigated this pretty deftly. One of my better maneuvers. I thank y'all for submitting your topics to chat about. Lots of fun today. I'm not sure like how much sense I made. I'll be totally honest. I was just kind of like, you know, like I said, off the dome. Nonetheless, I super appreciate y'all. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give it a like. I'll put a video right here that I think you're going to enjoy. I love y'all so freaking much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.